Like, guys, I don't even know how to start defending. Why do some people think that Igbo women are wicked? Is it because of Patience or Zokwo? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Dimma here. If you're new, my name is Chidimma. Dimma for short. Everybody calls me Dimma. So today's video is going to be very light-hearted. Like, it's not going to be a serious video. I am not coming for anybody, so please nobody should come for me. I feel like I had to give this disclaimer before I started talking in this video. This video is going to be kind of light-hearted all through. Nothing like deep or bashing. No, I'm just going to be talking like from my own perspective of things. So guys, let me tell you guys, half of these misconceptions, I didn't even know that a lot of people thought these things about Igbo women up until I moved to Lagos. The other half, I started learning after I joined Twitter, which I feel like is the only social media platform that actually allows you outside of forums like Nairaland and whatnot, which I am not on. Outside of those, Twitter is the only platform I think that really allows you to just gain insights to what a lot of Nigerians think about so many things. On Instagram, I feel like a lot of people try to be politically correct. Twitter is like constant
yeah, give and take.
You have to be ready to take it and you have to be ready to give it back. Okay, people are really savage on that app. So you would see the conversations that will come up when certain things start trending on Twitter or when certain things happen. So like most of my other chit chat videos, this video was heavily inspired by conversations that I have seen on Twitter. So I don't have particular tweets because sometimes I reference particular specific tweets. I'm not going to be doing that. So the first one that really shocked me was when I started seeing conversations on Twitter or tweets sometimes alluding to what they believe is the fact that a lot of Igbo women are not business oriented. Even growing up in Igbo land, I know that a lot of other tribes in Nigeria tend to consider Igbo people to be very business minded. Like anything business, if it has to do with business, you will find us there. But after some time these days, I've started realizing that a lot of people don't like when they say Igbo people are business minded. I think that a lot of people tend to think Igbo men are business minded and not really the women, which is really shocking to me because I came from like growing up in Enugu, a lot of the women that I knew were business women who were even carrying their homes. You know, my grandmother was a businesswoman. Like she had a restaurant at a point. From then she moved to selling groceries. You know, my mom is like a proper businesswoman. I have aunties who are businesswomen as well. So it really came as a shock to me. And I remember I think the first person or one of the people, not the first person that I heard say this because it came as such a shock. I was like, are you serious? Is this what you really think? Why would you think that? I think she kind of explained that that because Igbo men are very like forward and very controlling. I think she used the word controlling, which is another thing that I feel like a lot of people tend to think about Igbo men, but I'll get to that later on in this video. That's not really what the video is about, but I'll touch on this a little bit. So she was like, oh, Igbo men are very controlling and they like to have their wives in the house, like not really doing anything. They like to do everything. And as a result, their women, like, I feel like from the way she kind of was explaining it to me, she had this perception that Igbo women are very sheltered and they don't really like, they can even be helpless in a lot of situations. They're not people who you would see in the forefront of business or people who you would like expect to make very serious business decisions. And I'm like this is so confusing to me. To kind of tackle this in my own way, I feel like that is absolute like nonsense. In my opinion, I feel like it's absolute nonsense. And you cannot judge an entire tribe, and this goes for everyone. Okay, even Igbo people. You cannot judge an entire tribe, and it applies to race as well. You cannot judge people based on one or two or three people you know from a particular race or tribe. It does not make sense, okay? This person that I was talking to grew up in Lagos, so I guess maybe her assumption came from maybe one or two or three Igbo families that she knows or knew growing up in Lagos, you know? Even at that, I just felt that even if you thought about it critically, like there are so many Igbo women who are at the forefront of a lot of things when it comes to business here in Lagos alone. Go to Ogbete main market in Enugu, go to Onitsha main market. There are Igbo women doing serious business there. Balogun market as well, you know, I know, like I have gone there. My mom used to do business with some of them at Balogun at a point. And I remember that when she would come to Lagos, I would go to Balogun with her. And a lot of the women that we would go to shop from were Igbo women. A lot of them were Yoruba women as well. And even non-Yoruba, non-Igbo women. But then a lot of these women were Igbo women as well. I also understand where the misconception comes from, because I'm not going to come here and try to pretend that everything is perfect or that she's lying. I am very sure that probably it's possible that she probably knows 4 Igbo families with Igbo men who didn't allow their wives to do anything. I know. I have seen that play out. It's a thing, you know. Igbo culture is very patriarchal. I hope that that's the pronunciation of that word. I read it all the time, but then I never find reasons to actually use them in real life conversations. So this is the truth, you know, in a lot of cases. But then not every Igbo man is like that. Not every Igbo man considers his wife a property. Not every Igbo person treats his wife as if they don't, like they are not human beings. Like, see, with even some of the businesses you will see in Ogbete and on the Chame market, and even in Balogun, like the couple will actually have 2 stores. The wife is running one, the husband is running one. It tends to be like that. So I don't really know where this misconception has come from. Even thinking of blogging the digital industry before I moved into YouTube space heavily, some of the really big women who I knew who had made money, made it obvious that this was an area you could make money off of, were Igbo women, Lindy KG, Ucheza of Bella Niger. So I don't know where this misconception comes from. You know, Igbo women view money the way Igbo men view it. It's something that we like to hustle to get. The second one is, and this is one that I learned on Twitter and I still find it very, very funny today, is that Igbo women are very wicked. Like, I see men sometimes when things are happening, they kind of start tweeting, oh, when this Igbo babe dealt with me. Like, guys, I don't even know how to start defending. Why do some people think that Igbo women are wicked? I actually think that, more than anything, I think that this one is very, very funny. Is it because of Patience Ozokwo? I find it very, very funny that a lot of people actually think this, you know, that Igbo women, like, they will show you pepe. But then again, I feel like the way I tend to translate that most of the times when I see people tweet or say things like that is that Igbo women, like, I feel like, I'm also not going to generalize, but from personal experience, I feel like with a lot of the Igbo women that I know, we don't have, like, our threshold for taking nonsense is not that high. So I think that maybe that whole, like, no nonsense and maybe calling out bullshit the minute we see it, you know, that, or just ghosting, or not even, like, letting anybody walk all over us. I don't know, you say what you think is the reason for this, but that is what I think is the reason for this. I can't stop laughing. I think that is very funny. Third one is that Igbo women like money. Like, I've seen people tweet this a lot. I'm like, yeah, I just kind of explained to you guys that Igbo people as a whole, we are very, very business oriented. It's also a cultural thing. Just hustling, making something for yourself, selling it and making money out of it. It is something that we take very big pride in, even before the coming of the white man. But then again, I'm not saying that this is true in the sense that we can be very, very impractical or that we will not go where there is no money. Like, that's bullshit. Guys, I honestly think that it is, because guys, just sit down and think of Igbo women who are in families where their husbands are not millionaires. Marry them knowing that they're not millionaires. Can we just stop this nonsense and use our brains, please? And then I also think that it's also like something that a lot of people have liked to just attach to us, maybe because of this whole stereotype when it comes to Igbo people and money. Because this whole thing about women like gravitating towards money, it's a worldwide thing, you know. It is something that women are just genuinely attracted to. A man having money is just a very big indicator that the man can provide, you know. And I've had non-Igbo people who tell me to my face, they're not even trying to be coy about it. Does he have money? Okay, it is a thing. And it is a worldwide thing as well. So, like, I don't understand it when people throw it at Igbo women as an insult. I don't understand what you're trying to do. Huh? This next one I learned from Twitter as well. And I also find it very funny. About Igbo women are very hairy. This one is also one of those ones that shocked me like the first one. And they grow beards and then they grow like hair on their chest. Like, guys, the amount of hair that a person tends to grow has a lot of things to do with biology and really nothing to do with where they are from or where they grew up or what tribe. But then again, people like to throw things around that don't make sense. It does, like me, I've come on this channel several times to complain that my eyebrows are not even near as thick as I want them to be. Like, I'm generally not a hairy person. Most of my siblings are not hairy. I know a lot of girls who are not hairy. I have seen non-Igbo people who are very, very hairy. Like, their legs, everything is hairy. So I don't know why. Like, I don't know where this stereotype has come from. This one is also one of those ones I tend to find very funny, like Igbo women are wicked. If you know where this is from, please let me know in the comment section, because I am not understanding, okay? Then the last one that I have written down, and which I have had personal experience with moving here, is people saying things like Igbo women are very disrespectful, or that they are disrespectful. I'm going to address this particular one on so many levels, okay? I think that for a country that has a lot of like ethnic groups like we do, we have over 200 and something ethnic groups here, like we still don't know a lot about each other. And I feel like a lot of people, or I've seen people from different tribes go around expecting things that they expect from people from their own tribe, from people from other tribes. I don't even know if this made sense. Let me say that again. I have seen people go around like expecting things that somebody who is not from your tribe probably knows nothing about. You go around expecting it from them. I don't think it makes sense. Africa as a whole, us here, I don't really know any culture where I would say that disrespect thrives. Respect is a big thing in most cultures here. However, I think that how respect is shown, okay, and the things that connote respect are so different across the different tribes. And I think that if you're dealing with somebody who is not from your tribe, you have to keep an open mind and really listen to what they are saying. And throw out prejudices that you have, because I feel like a lot of it also, like, we don't like to say the word tribalism, but tribalism is a big thing here, and it's also one of the biggest issues that we have here. But I feel like a lot of times people like to pretend that it's not an issue. Tribalism is an issue. I have felt it firsthand moving here in Lagos, and I also know Yoruba people who have felt it from Igbo people. I know Igbo people who have felt it from Yoruba people. So I don't understand why, like with most cases that we have here, we like to sweep it under the carpet. If we want change, I think that we're going to get to a point in this country where we actually discuss things. So why did I start saying all these things? Showing respect to my elders, where if there are elders here in Igbo culture, man or woman is probably coming, in this day and age, not talking about the olden days. If you come into a room where there are elderly people, you come close, you greet them well, maybe bend a little bit so that they tap your back. Or in 90% of the cases from what I have seen these days, or what I know growing up, is you look them and you just greet properly. However, in some other cultures, I know that it's not like that. There are a lot of things that connote respect, maybe the way they expect you to reply them when you say something, maybe the way that you greet. And we have to understand that, like, we're all different. Do you understand? An Igbo person can come here now being very respectful to you, respecting you the way they know to respect. It is up to you to understand that this is like, they're not you, they're not from your culture, and know that this person is respecting the way that they know how to. And in the general standard for respect as well, I think is what they tend to give. Expecting them to respect you or do things that connote respect in your culture doesn't make sense. And I feel like in the absence of some of those things, people tend to label it disrespect. Igbo people are very forward. I feel like more forward than people from a lot of other tribes that I know. Like, we don't really find it that difficult expressing ourselves. I've seen people from other tribes sometimes when they're trying to tell an elder that they're wrong, or tell an elder what they think about what they've done. There's this whole big running around that people tend to do sometimes, just so that they don't hurt the elder's feelings. It's something that we still have to do in Igbo culture, but not as much as I think that some other people do. So we are very direct and straightforward. We don't have a lot of hierarchy in the societal construct you get in Igbo land, or we don't have a lot of hierarchy when it comes to our culture, Igbo culture. With a lot of tribes in Nigeria, there is serious hierarchy I've seen serious hierarchy. One of the reasons why, when the white man came to Nigeria, the Igbo land was one of the most difficult areas for him to control, is because there's this old saying we throw around all the time. And I think it has its positives and it has its negatives, and it's affected us negatively a lot, like the Igbo culture a lot, when it comes to democracy and the way Nigeria is structured now. But then the Igbos don't have kings. There's something that we say Igbo enweze. and that basically means that we don't have kings. Before the coming of the white man, like about 90% of Igbo land didn't know what kings were. We didn't like select one person in our communities and make that person the spokesperson for all of us. The highest you would get in Igbo land is something called Omonna. Just a group of elders. If you've read books by Chinua Achebe and people who have written about Igbo culture or what it was like before the coming of the white man, you will know that this is how it is. We select a group of elders, or we have a group of elders who make decisions for the whole community. We don't have one spokesperson representing us. And that is the reason why, even when it comes to elections, I feel like a lot of tribes like find it very easy to come together and be like, oh, this is our candidate. Like it's not that easy for us still. Because we're not really wired like that. Like Igbo people are very, very autonomous. It was like more so before the coming of the white man, and because we were so divided and we had our own legislative everything, because every single area or every single region, every single village had their own omonna. It was very difficult for the British to gain control of that region. So what they had to do was that they, at a point, now had to introduce warrant chiefs. So these warrant chiefs were people who they gave a lot of power and a lot of backing and made them in charge of specific areas and made the people answer to those people. And then before you know it, like these warrant chiefs kind of became like Igwes and Ezes of their regions. There were certain parts of Igbo land that did have OBs and stuff before all of this, but I don't know if all of this is making sense. But just for us to come together as a people, like the British had to introduce warrant chiefs. So we are a very autonomous people. So yeah, basically, and I feel like because we are very like that when it comes to a lot of things that concern us, and because we're very, very forward with what we think and all of that, people tend to translate it to mean something else. Another reason why I really wanted to do this video was because some of these things that can look like bant or can sound like bant or sound funny, like I've said that some of them did sound funny to me. But I've noticed that whenever we have like serious conversations happening, very quickly it dawns on you that some of these things aren't really banter. People start throwing them around as insults. You see that happen on Twitter all the time. And you also see it from the other side as well. You see Igbo people say some really ignorant things as well. And I'm like, why do we just keep doing this? I feel like, in all honesty, we have to get to a point where government people like just come together and try to bring us all together, because I think that we've come a long way from where we used to be, but I still feel like we are still divided in so many ways. Because like I said, these things sound like bants, but then when things happen, or when one little thing happens, or somebody from one of the tribes or a group of people from one of the tribes are on the news for the wrong reasons, we go back to the same type of like nonsense, like insults. And one thing again that I have also realized moving to Lagos is that there's a certain level of ignorance that you find with Nigerians who grew up in very big cities as well, because I feel like a lot of them really think that, I know some people who think that Lagos is Nigeria. Lagos is actually not Nigeria. We have so many other states here, and you see with people who grew up in big cities as well, I feel like they tend to not really know or understand or even know what is going on in Nigeria outside of those places. I remember when I moved here initially, and I'll talk about, oh, we had malls in Enugu, we have an international airport. No, before I even moved here, I remember when I went to do my master's and I actually met a lot of Nigerians who are not Igbo, and how they would react. I said, I grew up in Enugu. They'll be like, oh, how was that? You think that I'd say that I grew up in one village, and a lot of them, they were like, oh, you guys have an airport? Wow. Oh, you guys have cinemas? Wow. And I'm like, are you guys freaking kidding me? People can be very, very ignorant. And I'm sure that people who live in certain parts of like Nigeria that aren't big cities will tell you that this tends to be the case as well. We should try, guys, to learn more about people and learn more about different tribes. Let's not be this ignorant, because at this point in time, it doesn't even make sense. Tell me in the comment section, what is one big misconception that people have about people from your tribe that really gets on your nerves or you find annoying? Share in the comment section, and also kind of use that opportunity to kind of educate people as well, guys, and not in like a very rude, demeaning way. Like I said, I wanted to start a conversation. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I'll see you guys in my next one.